Twitter. This is a real article. They're still going with the same stuff with the Acolyte. They're using the same... The Acolyte isn't reading Star Wars. You are. Well, fine. F you then, Kathleen Karen Kennedy. Because clearly I'm the one writing and directing and producing and editing and driving the cast to work and casting them and doing the costumes. Oh, wait, that's Leslye Headland. I have nothing to do with this. I'm just somebody sitting here watching it being told I'm ruining it. Really? The nerve of you, Kathleen Karen Kennedy. I am serious. The nerve of you, Miss Kathleen Karen Kennedy, or whoever's writing these articles, or whoever's approving these, because you know what happens when we see these articles. Guess what? That is the impression we get from the people who run Star Wars. Specifically, the people who run Lucasfilm for Disney Star Wars. Kathleen Karen Kennedy.
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
If they're going to run these articles lazy like that, I am going to use Trey Parker's voice. Because he is not in between my legs right now. I admit it. Ooh, I had a huge crush on him my whole life. Total homo for him. Absolutely. My whole life. Well, as long as I can remember anyway. Quite a while. Now.
Whoopsie.
You're getting all my dirty little secrets. Well, he has them anyway. I bet he has them sitting there. You don't know. He's the one who pointed out how we all think that Kathleen Karen Kennedy is hiding under our bed to ruin the Star Wars. Meanwhile, look at this. The Acolyte isn't reading Star Wars. You are. It's an opinion. Well, you know what? Maybe you're the one ruining it with these goddamn articles. Maybe you're the one ruining it with this stuff. With saying, no one hates Star Wars more than those who claim to be Star Wars fans. I am not a Star Wars fan. I am a Star Trek fan. I am a viewer of Star Wars. I like it. It's good. It was good. Star Wars was good. It was fun. Yoda. Baby Yoda. Star Wars was fun. Why can't they just let it be like that? Why am I turning into Shatner? Why do we have this be the face of the Star Wars? The bickering fans. You're a racist. Oh yeah, well you're an asshole or whatever. Why is this the face of Star Wars? Why is this the face of the brand now? Maybe Disney's doing it. Maybe Disney's ruining it by making this still. Maybe Disney's ruining it by approving these what? Cheap. They're cheap to make, they're cheap to write, they're cheap to have. These opinions, they're cheap to have. They are lazy. This is the McDonaldization of marketing these TV shows. They have gotten so lazy, they just recycle the same opinions, the same articles, the same BS. Instead of, I don't know, just admitting that a lot of people probably want to grow up and move past Star Wars and want to have it as that special thing that you can sink your teeth into like once in a blue moon. You know, that real special treat. And to have just this mass consumer, every 5 minutes, there's a new Star Wars TV show, something. And none of them were very good. They all are just cringe. Some of them were okay, but yeah, sure, the past few years have given the fandom plenty to critique. The sequel splintered the fan base beyond recognition, and Lucasfilm's efforts to explain the galaxy on the small screen have been mixed at best, and in some cases criticism is inevitable. Not everyone will find something to like in the franchise's recent output. At a certain point, though, the discourse reaches a fever pitch, and even Lucasfilm's most promising projects get swept up in the drama. This was promising? The Acolyte? I thought Leslye Headland just kind of willed this into existence by going to Variety and saying, yeah, I'm working on a new Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy kind of got cornered and had to make it. That's what it felt like. The Acolyte is not the first Star Wars project to face the brunt of fan backlash. Oh no. And it likely won't be the last. But the new live-action series is also one of the best additions to the galaxy far, far away in a long time, embracing decades of nostalgia while also thinking critically on the franchise's legacy. It also might be the most diverse Star Wars story. Diversity. The diversiest of the diversities. So, since it's only diverse and that's it, that's literally the only thing you have to say about it. It just says it's one of the best because it's diverse. Okay. I feel insulted as a woman that checks a couple of tick boxes. And while that's definitely a boom for marginalized fans, the acolyte of the target of the vocal spitter of the fandom, it's not even that. It's just boring. It's just blah. It's just the same Disney Star Wars that we've seen a million times over at this point. It's the same Disney Star Wars that we've seen a million times over. Nothing that interesting. Whether you know them as the Fandom Menace. Oh! 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 Hey, that's me! That's me! That's me on the cover of the book. The Fandom Menace. Or a cluster of blue checkmark use. I never got a blue checkmark. I didn't get a puppet either. Now they got the rip-off verse making fun of all those people crying about Star Wars and stuff. And I'm like, aw, that's me. I want a puppet. I'm Brie Larson Meltdown girl. Come on. I'm the shove Brie Larson up your ass girl. It's a song I wrote. Because I'm a singer. Shove Brie Larson up your ass. It's impossible to escape their orbit. The same folks that review bombed the diverse swings like Marvel's diverse. It was shit on a shingle and you know it. That was stupid and it had no story. The bitch walks up to the guy. She's like, beautiful, isn't it? My name is Icarus. That's not even an answer to the view being beautiful, you dumb dumb fucking movie. That was a dumb movie, and you know it. And the Lord of the Rings prequel, The Rings of Power, have set their sights on the Acolyte. You know what happened to The Rings of Power? Nobody watched it. I covered it. It's stupid. It's cringe. Okay, the Acolyte. You know what? These are all stupid streamers from dead franchises that have to use this tactic to grab the 5 people who are like, oh yeah, because you know what happens in the normie sphere? People are like, what? They're still making Star Wars? They're like, oh, there's a new Star Wars? To hear them tell it, the series is the worst thing that has ever happened to Star Wars. And as showrunner, Leslye Headland is just as fiendish as Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. To them, the Acolyte's woke agenda is something to be feared. I don't think it's even the woke agenda ruining it. I think it's just this lazy storytelling and marketing because there isn't even a woke agenda in it. There isn't even a woke agenda in it. I watched it, and the only thing gay about the Acolyte is the fact that it's more gay Disney Star Wars. For crying out loud. Disney Star Wars is gay and crappy, and we don't mean that as an insult to. See, I'm the B in the alpha, but I can use that in the way it's meant to be used, right? In the way it was meant to be used. It's ruining Star Wars, and it's poisoning pop culture itself. It needs to be stopped by any means necessary. It's poisoning pop culture. You know what it's doing, though? It's making a bunch of people angry and defend bullshit storytelling, right? It's making a bunch of people defend bad Star Wars to get back at a bunch of idiots on the internet that you don't need that opinion. You don't have to watch us. You can sit there in your little cloud and love the Acolyte, and you don't have to care what any of us has to say or boo or who. Yeah, forget about the boat assholes on the Lord of the Rings, yeah. The boat wankers. We realize how ridiculous this all sounds, right? God, I hope so. But if not, let's try this. The Acolyte is not actually ruining Star Wars. But the bigoted backlash is definitely ruining the fun for everyone else. No! You know what I've seen nothing but is people saying there's a bunch of bigots on Twitter complaining about it. And you know, I said, why do both these bitches have cornrows? They have the same hairstyle. Isn't that racist? I thought cornrows were racist. I don't know. Yeah, they don't tell me anything. I gotta go piece it together coming in 20 years after the fact on the internet like some old granny going, huh? Why is that racist? And I'm like, gee, I like the hockey players. They're so cute. Oh, they're good boys. It's not, and they're good boys, but they're bad boys too sometimes. You know, they want to be bad boys. They want to be bad boys. It's not shocking to see something like the Acolyte marred by racist, misogynist, and even anti-LGBTQ backlash. They're reeing. They're so mad. They're literally, who wrote this? Which they, them wrote this? They, them is mad. They, them. Livy Scott. What are your pronouns, Livy Scott? They, them is mad. I'm using they, them because I don't know. Because I don't want to insult you. You didn't put them in your bio. If you wanted me to use your proper pronouns, you would put that right next to your name like it is one. They, them. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like, you know what, these pronouns, these kids who are like, yeah, I just don't. That's who it hurts. That's who this hurts. That's who this hurts, because they see these articles, right? And they think that, you know, their parents hate them. They think their parents hate them. That's what happens. Or their uncle or whatever. They think their parents hate them because they might not identify as a man or a woman, right? And they see the outrage for something completely unrelated like Star Wars, and they assume that because we're making fun of this marketing. I'm shuffling. You should smell a dressing room after 30 sweaty men crowded into it. You almost puked after going to the Winnipeg Jets dressing room. Oh no. Hey, that was the Manitoba Leaf Plains, and don't you forget it. I renamed them to the Manitoba Leaf Plains because they're... I've been in the Knights locker room, their practice one. But they weren't in it. Okay, the woke agenda. To realize how ridiculous it sounds, right? God, I hope so. But let's try this. The Acolyte is not actually ruining Star Wars. Okay, but the bigoted backlash is ruining it for everyone else. You don't have to watch articles about this. But I think the problem is these are the only articles that let you know this show exists. It's the gay one. It's run by the gay woman. It's the gay one for the gay people and the diversities. This is the diversity one. And then what happens? They run these articles, these kids who are like, yeah, when Anakin blew up the Death Star. He was at the show. This guy in the show thinks that Anakin blew up the Death Star. It's not outright shocking to see. How many times can they say racist, misogynist, blah, blah, blah? And even the Star is not outright shocking to see that. How long is this article? The Star Wars devotees would share multiple bad faith treatsies about their series on YouTube, or take its audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, it gets review bombed. Oh no, it is getting review bombed 4 days ago. Oh, the horror that people are gonna go in and see a bunch of bot accounts praising it, and a bunch of people saying, yeah, but they're calling us a bunch of istophobes. Gee, that's a silly thing to be upset by. Let's look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Shall we? Because you know what happened all the time? They used to review bomb shows the other way. They were review bombing these shows the other way in the positives when they were coming out. Disney was. Remember when The Last Jedi stayed at the same, or was it Rise of Skywalker, stayed at the same 36% or something, or whatever it was. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes thermometer, 27% audience score. Gee, 90%. So you can tell with this stuff when you see, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but sometimes I like it. When you see the diverse cast being front and center, and you see the marketing saying you're a bunch of istophobes, right? You can just automatically assume that the writing is going to be completely lackluster, that this thing is going to be thrown together in 2 minutes just to what? Fulfill a streaming time slot, a streaming block of data, just to say we have a new show on our streamer for what? The investors. And then they run these articles when these shows don't do well, say, oh, they're just a bunch of racists. Why? Because Disney cannot turn a profit. They can't make money to save their life. They have to run this stuff, these articles. They have to run these articles because why? They're losing so much money. Because they're losing money or they're not making enough. They're not showing a good enough profit on paper. So they have to run interference. They have to run a distraction. They have to say, oh yeah, but look over here. Look, they're all racists. Look, they're all racist. Like, yeah, but why are there no stream? Why are people not subscribing to Disney Plus anymore? Why are people letting their subscriptions go? Could that be because, they're eating out of the garbage at the Disney parks and they can't afford their Disney Plus? Could that be it? That their car insurance tripled, that they have to pay 4 months up front rent for an apartment like Mecca Baby Doll does? So what does she do? she begs for you guys to pay for her streamers or her gas or her car insurance or any of those things. Because why? She also does DoorDash. Because why? Disney does not throw me all of the re-Uranistophobe audience and hate clicks my way. Because I'm not telling you that, guys, the message. I'm not telling you guys, yes, and the message of the woke and the this and the that. I'm not repeating back those buzzwords. I'm just repeating back what I see. And this is what I see. A very long article complaining about the exact same things. Comments on set design and screenwriting have turned into misogynist microaggressions against Headland. So, she not a big enough girl to take some criticism like everybody else? She too broke to take some criticism, being a showrunner, writer, producer, director, editor, caterer, grip, lighting. She's a Teamster, head of the Teamster Union. It boils down to entitlement. The origins of this toxicity are not difficult to figure out. At the end of the day, it boils down to entitlement. Many male fans feel like they own the franchise and are determined to safeguard it from anyone who could challenge that ownership. Are you sure that the very male fan base that has been fans of this thing for a very long time aren't actually entitled to the thing that they've spent their lives, time, and money into? See, that'd be like me going into hockey and saying, you know what, we should change. No, I don't want to change anything. I'm here to tell you, what do you want to change? You're the general manager of the team. I don't know. What do I know? I just know the cute and I know the name thing and I know the word association. That's all I know. But I'm a woman and I shouldn't be telling, like, what? They don't listen to me as a woman. They're not listening to me. I could be, hey, I'm a woman and I don't. So this article is insulting to women. This is insulting to fans of color because they're making this like this is just a male fan. What a fucking sexist fucking article is. That became a relatively niche issue. Has become Lucasfilm's biggest hurdle moving forward. The Acolyte can weather the storm after all, as it's been well received by critics, who are just going to defend it because they're mad at what? The other side. They're mad at the people who can sit there on their butts collecting super chats by sitting there for 8 hours a day on the live stream while they have to go in and pretend to write an article using AI. Because they think that I don't know. I don't know why they're mad. But Livy Scott does not have a... Oh, there she is. Livy Scott. She does have a picture. Okay. Her passions include minority studies and aesthetically pleasing celebrities. That's not very body positive. That is not very body positive to just say only the aesthetically pleasing ones. And she usually finds a way to shoehorn both in her work. Okay, she has previously written for Comic Book Resources, so CBR, and Nerdy POC. Isn't that insulting to call yourself a POC, like a piece of crap? And currently divvies her time between publications like Slash Film, Blossom Magazine, and Screen Spec. She spends the majority of her time looking for ways to spotlight women of color in traditionally gate-kept genres, those she grew up loving and critiquing. Okay, so that's fine to showcase it, but this is just a hit piece. This is just an attack. This is just I'm mad because somebody disagrees with me. This is I'm mad because some guy who has a catchphrase and a buzzword is getting more money and fame off of it than writing an article. And that's all this is. This is just some blatant jealousy. This is because why? Because why? It is absolutely correct to say, you know what? The male audience that was there first, you don't need to go in and insult. I mean, you could change stuff. You could have a diverse cast of people without any marketing, like Star Trek Voyager, and nobody would know, nobody would care. Everybody would be like, yeah, this is exactly what we want. But it's all the marketing and merchandising and stuff. It's all in how they spin these articles. So now, that's what's going on with that. And now I have 2 videos that I'm going to upload. Thank you so much. I'm going back to my live chat. Don't you go anywhere.